All right. Well, Susie's in the room. Susie's in the waiting room.
Oh,
Suzi Moon.
all right.
All right. So let's let her in. Hey, Susie.
What's up?
Can you hear us?
Hi, yeah.
Hey.
How are
How's
you?
it going? Is this
Good.
okay? Do you want me to turn the camera the other way?
This is fine.
Oh, you're
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. It's so good to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same to you.
Thanks for coming on.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
who's
you're.
you?
Oh, I'm Ron.
Hi, Ron
Matt.
and Matt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice to meet you both
You
this
too.
way. Yeah.
It's the 2021 way of doing things, you know.
I know. I'm totally wearing leggings on the bottom. It's
That's
like,
all right.
it's funny because as much as I love and I love meeting people in person, especially at shows when there's like all that energy and stuff.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about being able to do things at home too,
Mhm.
like in the comfort and just being able to schedule it and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
So hopefully some of that kind of, we keep a little of that moving forward, but
Communication has never been as easy, you know.
I know.
Those of us that are old enough to remember not having cell phones, it's almost like,
Oh yeah.
it's almost like it
Yeah.
never existed at this point, you know.
I know, it's crazy. I've got nephews that are 5 and like 1 years old, and it's like they're never gonna know.
I know.
Yeah.
That was
To like, they're never gonna know to like wait around the phone for a call or.
yeah, and like remembering your friend's phone number,
Yeah.
like house phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think like the people that are never going to know like the struggles of communication without like instant communication, like
Mhm.
what will happen to them when it's taken away.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully it's not ever taken away from those
Sure.
people, because I feel it's not good, but what would happen?
Yeah.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah, I remember doing tours with my old band Savette back in like 2006
Yeah.
with printed Google. Was it even Google Maps? It might have been like
Yeah.
MapQuest.
MapQuest.
We had a binder full of fucking directions, and we got everywhere we needed to go. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Remember the days of just using signs?
yeah, like freeway signs and exit signs and stuff. Yeah, or like my mom, she's got a really great sense of direction, and she just knows how to get places, and I guess I learned a lot of that from her, because she'll be like, go this way, that way, right on that street, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't need my fucking phone,
Yeah.
But that's good survival stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What are you doing on the East Coast?
Well, my boyfriend's from here.
Oh, Drew.
Yeah, Drew.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
his family's all here, and we're hanging out. It's cool.
Cool.
It snowed the other day.
Oh yeah.
I'm like a California girl through and through. So
So you're in the
scraping-
DC area?
Yeah, a little bit outside of DC, like Rockville.
Okay, Maryland. So I'm in Maryland too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You're close
Cool.
to Ron.
And
Not
Matt's
that
in
far from-
Virginia.
Yeah.
What city?
I'm in Crofton, so it's out near Annapolis, like eastern, like more towards the east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a day trip to Annapolis in November.
Oh, cool.
Dude.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Very
Annapolis
cool.
is the only cool city in Maryland.
Where are you? Where are you, Matt?
I'm in Virginia. I'm about 50 miles south of DC in
Sure.
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
All right, great. Well, we're all kind of in the same
Yeah.
area,
It's cool.
Yeah, that's rad. Well, if it was normal times, we would definitely just be doing this in person.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Somewhere down the line.
Yeah,
Because
down the
I'll-
line for sure.
I will be here a lot,
Awesome.
Maybe
Yeah.
there'll even be a studio we can do this from one day.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy being here and not being able to do what I usually do, and go to shows and like just meet people,
Yeah.
because I definitely consider DC to be like an extension of my home. We spend
Right.
a long time here, but I only came out a handful of times before the pandemic hit. So I met
Yeah.
people then, but like nothing like,
Right.
I like making friends. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Long Beach. Long
Okay.
Beach, California. Yeah,
Mm,
Cool.
yeah.
good old
Long Beach changed a lot.
Really? Yeah. I have a brother who lives in the Valley. He lived in West Hollywood for a while, but I think I went to Long Beach once to pick up one of my truck got shipped from Hawaii when I got out of the Navy.
Mhm.
And I think it was shipped to Long Beach.
Yeah, that
Whatever,
seems
but-
like where it would be shipped because that's
Okay.
like the port
Gotcha.
right
Okay.
there. It's the port of Long Beach.
Yeah.
It's connected to like Harbor City and stuff. Long Beach, I was just there to finish recording the full length album that's going to come
Right.
out after the EP.
Cool.
And like I grew up in Long Beach. That is my hometown. But nowadays it looks like shitty beach Brooklyn. Like
Oh, really?
Long Beach is having a personality crisis. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like this coffee shop is too clean.
Yeah.
And all like the fancy new high rises, because there's a ton of them going up in downtown.
Wow.
And like my first apartment ever was right in downtown Long Beach. And we had bars on the windows, and that shit was fucking sketchy. And you didn't walk to your car by yourself.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, it's so nice and clean down there. I'm
Wow.
like, that's not even cool.
That's funny.
I must have caught like the tail end of that. I think the last time I was in Long Beach was like 2016. Was it still
Mhm.
kind of sketch in 2016?
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I don't remember
whereabouts
anything
were
being
you?
clean.
Were you in downtown?
We were. I'm not exactly sure exactly where we were, but
Yeah,
we
Really
played
big
it.
city.
Yeah, we played at the Blacklight District. Or
Okay,
Blacklight, whatever.
Yeah.
remember the
I
exact name, but
don't
it's
think
just
that place is still open,
Yeah,
but
wouldn't-
I know. Yeah, that's kind of like it's almost like a little like similar to like an East Village kind of. It's like very like
gotcha.
bohemian in that area, lots of thrift stores and stuff.
Yeah, I
but-
definitely don't remember it being clean.
Yeah, I know. It's built with grime. Like that is definitely part of the Long Beach charm.
It was a super fun time.
You grow up someplace and like when you go back and it looks so different. That's just always kind of a mind fuck.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. But I lived in Silver Lake for the last 10 years. And I moved out of Long Beach when I was like 17
Okay.
Mm.
and was always around Hollywood and Silver Lake and the Valley also.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
How long have you been here on the East Coast?
well, on and off.
You guys visiting though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just visiting. Gotcha.
Yeah, but we've been here since since August we've been mostly here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I still have a place in Silver Lake, but
Gotcha. Did you fly
Well,
out
we-
here or drive?
we actually did a road trip. It was really
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was an opportunity for it.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck, let's do the whole cross country thing.
Nice.
Did
Yeah,
you
so
guys
that
like
was
stop and make it kind of a
Yeah.
touristy
Yeah,
kind
we
of
did
thing?
like a whole week. We
Nice.
did kind of like a stupid route. We went from San Diego to Flagstaff, Arizona, and then up into Colorado because I've got a girlfriend that lives there.
Yeah.
And then back down to the 10 highway that like cuts through everything, and then went through Texas because we just stopped and saw like family and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Drew's got family in New Mexico, so we stopped there
Cool.
and made our way to Memphis, which was fun.
Cool.
Always a good time.
Yeah.
Memphis is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe it would have been cooler if it wasn't.
yeah.
the,
wasn't.
Oh no.
know,
Fucking COVID.
Um, it was just it was kind of sad just to see such a legendary place without like that spirit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of weird, like ghost town style. Where I'm like, this is Memphis.
Yeah. Beale Street. What?
Yeah. Beale Street definitely had a lot of people hanging out on it, but there weren't as many musicians, I guess, as usual. My cat's coming up to say hi.
Oh, sweet.
Say hi, guys. She's like, you're not paying enough attention to me.
What's your cat's name?
Savage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's in a band called Savage Remains. So
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I can take a picture. She could be your mascot.
Awesome. I love it.
See, Savage
Perfect.
leave no remains of any.
Have you ever done the Sun Studios tour in Memphis?
We did. That was the fucking coolest.
Yes, it's so cool. Did you do it like this time when you went through, or had you
Mhm.
done it?
Yeah,
previous?
because that's the only time I've ever been to Memphis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So the rumors of that place, I don't know if you've ever heard this rumor or not, but it's definitely true. If you are a traveling band and you walk in there and give them a copy of your album, they give the whole band the tour for free.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you keep
I
that in your
love
back pocket if you ever tour through there again.
down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. Because we also did the Stax Records tour, but
Oh, nice.
or the Stax Museum, I guess it's not quite the same as it used to be. And the guys at Sun were kind of shitting on the Stax Museum. They're like, yeah, if you want to go in there and look at that movie set, you know, whatever. Like, we kept it real here at Sun Studios. But Sun was absolutely the highlight of Memphis.
Yeah, they do a good job with their tour there. It was a good time.
They do.
Yeah.
And ending in that room where everything was actually fucking recorded.
Yeah.
Like,
It's totally
you
rad.
feel it, the energy.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And it's super cool, like, to go back now and like watch like videos of people recording there and stuff like that, and you're like literally like, oh my god, they literally kept the same exact stuff. Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was super vibey. And I should do that. I should go look for some videos.
yeah, and they have some very you know, upstairs in that little museum room, so they had some very iconic you know, instruments and things like that. Cool.
Oh
place.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I loved that. That was cool. We took a shit ton of pictures, and at the end they had a microphone that apparently Elvis had sung into.
Nice.
So, you
Yeah.
know, we did our pictures. Drew got the best picture ever. He nailed it with his little like Elvis kick with his foot and like kicked it out, you know, and like had the microphone, and like you could see the other families and tourists in there, and they were like, that guy knows what he's doing. You know.
That's awesome.
So that was fun. I'd like to check out Nashville though next.
Nashville's cool.
I've never been to Nashville.
You haven't? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are moving there from LA. A lot of people in general are moving out of.
Yeah,
my brother wrote for that TV show Nashville. It was about like the country.
I love that show.
Whatever. Really?
Yeah.
So my brother was one of the writers, so he used to go to Nashville
Cool.
whenever his episode would, you know, because he would go and help direct or whatever. But
Yeah.
I've never been. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds like he'd be a good tour guide.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Rose trip. I'm calling it.
Yep.
What was it like growing up in Long Beach, like with the music scene and stuff? When I read a quote of yours, I think it was from the LA Weekly, maybe. It was like, you said that your moment of teenage rebellion was when you decided to be normal. So can you kind of like talk about your family and growing up and stuff like that, if you want to?
Well, I come from a pretty rock and roll family. My mom was like that 70s rock and roll chick who, you know, she would only wear blue Levi's and black t-shirts. And actually, a cool story is my mom's best friend growing up, the girl that she met in juvenile, you know, juvie, when they were 14 or 15, her name was Annelle Zingarelli. And she was actually on the very first Alternative Tentacles compilation, Not So Quiet on the Western Front. And that was my mom's best friend in the whole world, was this chick Annelle, who later down the line, when I was able to Google pictures of her, had short, dark hair and like was wearing like a collar. And like, I didn't know anything like visually about her. And I was like, man, that's fucking weird. You know, but she had a band called Nazi Bitch and the Jews, or Nazi Pigs and the Jews, or some shit like that. It was like a fucking punk. And Jello apparently loved her band.
Wow.
And the only song ever released by this band is on that compilation. But Annelle OD'd at 21.
Oh shit.
Oh.
And so that was like a big thing for my mom, you know, and I grew up hearing about this Annelle chick, Annelle, and later down the line, like when I did the research and stuff, I was like, holy fuck, like it's so weird and full circle that I would put out something on AT with LA Marina, you know, and like she was there for the very first thing AT ever did, you know.
That's so cool.
So I thought that was really cool. But my mom's a rock and roller, and we listened to like a lot of Nirvana and Tom Petty, and then the Offspring, you know. The K-Rock is a big local rock and roll station in LA, and it was definitely like way more rock when I was growing up. But my sister is the one that got me into punk, because she started the band Civet 5 years before I was even in it. So she was 15 when she started the band, and she went to school with these guys, Clip 45, which are kind of like a legendary Long Beach punk band. And she just wanted to show them that like girls their high school could do it too.
Yeah.
But I remember my older sister, she had a pink T-Bird, like a 1964
sweet.
T-Bird
Damn.
with the suicide doors, you know?
Nice.
And
Fuck
I just thought my older sister was the coolest person in the world.
I think she's
She
the coolest
would go-
person in the world now too.
Right? I know. She would go to school wearing vintage prom dresses, like big
Nice.
vintage prom dresses with her long, ratted black hair and like a bunch of like costumey rhinestone jewelry and like dark eye makeup. And I'm in like, you know, 5th grade or 10th grade. I'm bad at math. So I just remember being like, whatever.
5th or 10th.
Yeah.
Spread
I was
those
a
numbers
child.
in there.
Fuck, like being like, holy shit, like she's super duper cool. But I don't know, our personalities are so different, and being like a people person like I am, I gravitated to like towards group things, you know, like sports and cheerleading. I did cheerleading and softball and like anything that was like group, you know. So I was kind of like on this track to be, I guess, what would be considered kind of normal, you know. But my sister and I took acting classes together for like 10 years. Like when we were children, we had a modeling agent, and like some of my first memories are taking photos on like rooftops in downtown LA.
Nice.
So there was always like this performance thing in my blood, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to be an actress, you know. But she went like punk rock, and I was still stuck in like, I love Britney Spears, you know, and I'm a cheerleader, you know. And I just remember one day she took me into her room and she put on a Cramps record. I can't remember exactly what Cramps record it was, but like hearing it, and she was showing me the pictures and stuff, and I was like, this is pretty cool, you know, I like that. Okay, so I'd come down to her room like more and more often and listen to records. But still, she was super cool, and I was just the little kid, you know. So I would tag along with her to recording sessions, and when she would play like backyard shows with like the other local bands. So I was always around it. And I remember her like tossing me into mosh pits and not letting me get out, you know, and always being like the youngest kid at the show.
Yeah.
But I was with my sister, you know, because she was my guardian. And then when I turned 15, she was like, listen, you need to join the band. And I'm like, but I don't know how to play guitar. She's like, we're going to teach you how to play guitar. And I'm like, what's in it for me? And she's like, well, you get to play dress up all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to do as much school.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And you get to
in.
meet boys.
There you go.
And I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in. But the only guitar we had around the house was a right-handed shitty guitar that
Oh, right.
belonged
You're
to-
left-handed. Yeah.
and I'm lefty. Yeah. And for the first few weeks, I'm trying to play this fucking thing, and I was like really, really bad. And I know everyone's bad when they start, but I was like really, really bad. And then I realized one day when I was just kind of like air guitaring that I was playing the other direction, and it kind of clicked for me for the first
Gotcha.
time. Like, oh, there's an option here. I can do it this other way, you know? So we restrung the guitar, and that was it. Like,
Nice.
I loved that fucking thing. And all of a sudden I wasn't as shitty, you know, after a bit more practice. It started to feel like this is something I can do instead of this, you know. So yeah, it was just really cool and natural how that happened. And my mom was a huge supporter. She's always been a huge supporter of us. And she's smart and she's educated, but she like looked at this as an alternative, you know, like people can, if they want to go to college and do this, that, or the other thing, but my daughters like have this passion and they're really into it. So I'm going to support this, even though it's not the norm, you know? And so, I did homeschool in 10th grade and then graduated. I like took the test early, and graduated, and went on tour that summer when I was 16.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just kind of like right out the gate. We were always working, always doing stuff. And I loved doing it. So I don't even know if I knew what I was doing, but I was always doing something, you know, because I wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. What?
Yeah.
So what was so how did you go from like that spot to being signed to Hellcat?
Yeah. If I can actually count manifestation without knowing what manifestation is, I was a very driven teenager,
Mhm.
and I idolized Rancid,
Yeah.
the Distillers, everything Warped Tour was like, my room was covered,
Yeah.
pictures, inspiration, and I couldn't see a reason why all these people were doing that stuff, and I wasn't. I could do those things too, I really, really wanted to, so why the fuck not? I thought that our band was good. And so my sister also, she knew how to run that band, and she knew who to talk to. And it was kind of like a snowball effect. Like, we released an album with Dwayne Peters, who's a skateboard legend, and like
Yeah.
definitely an LA OC kind of legend too. And
US
that
Bombs,
came
right?
out. What now?
He's US Bombs, the singer for
US
US Bombs.
Bombs.
Yeah.
And Die Huns too, that
Okay.
the band he did with his ex-wife Corey
Okay.
Parks. So we played with them a ton.
Gotcha.
Like, we played with them all the fucking time. And those two, like, it's interesting because they're not together anymore and they're very different people, but both of them are like who I wanted to be when I grew up.
Mhm.
Dwayne's like fucking incredible poet who, if you watch him live, like, he gives everything on stage. And then Corey is like this confident, fashionable, fucking doesn't give a fuck motherfucker.
Yeah.
And being 16 and 17 and like watching those guys all the time, it like definitely shaped me and inspired me. But we just went up to them at a Warped Tour and gave them the CD, and Corey told Dwayne, sign these girls.
Yeah.
But going back to like how we ended up on Hellcat, like I said, like, I like to talk to people and meet people, and I was invited to some bowling alley with a group of punk rockers in Burbank one time, and I met this girl who said she was managing a band and she knew Tim Armstrong, and I just liked her anyway. Like, I wanted to be her friend, but turns out she became our manager, took us on as a manager, and she was actually Tim's personal assistant at the time.
Okay.
And spent a lot of time with him. And so she started feeding him like hey, this band Civet, you got to get on this band Civet. At the same time, I had found Chris LaSalle, who worked at the label. He was like Tim's right-hand man for Hellcat. I found his email somewhere online.
Nice.
So I was sending Chris LaSalle emails every couple of months. Hi, Chris, it's Susie. Have you checked out my band? I would love it if you did. That would be the coolest thing ever. I was doing the same thing with Kevin Lyman, the founder of Warped Tour.
Warped Tour, yeah.
For years, I would just send him emails. Hi, Kevin, it's Susie. I hope you're well. It's great when you're a teenager and you have absolutely no fucking shame. And you'll,
totally.
you'll just go for shit. So yeah, all of that stuff paid off. Tim came to see Civet play a show in LA. We did the signing. I still have actually in my like keepsake box an placemat, like a scalloped edge placemat from some diner we all went to, where it says like
Nice.
July, August, September, October, November, and Tim's like scratchy punk rock writing, and it's his little like plan for the release of the album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've got that
So
folded
cool.
up. It's in my thing.
Yeah.
So that's super cool to have that, and he's such a great guy, and he really loved the band, and he got us in the studio. We recorded our debut album with Hellcat called Hell Hath No Fury, and we just fucking hit the road. And we were already touring anyway, which I think all labels like to see bands that are already fucking doing shit without them. Like, you have to have the drive to make things happen. A label is only going to invest in you if they see that you're working, and that they're not just going to be holding your hand and doing everything for you. So we were going to be on the road regardless, but having an awesome label that we fit with, and all those bands, like, fuck, it was super duper cool, and it definitely pushed us to the next level, but Civet did really fun things, and those are some of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
No,
I guess
it's cool.
That's the point.
But what about you?
Nobody cares about us. We talk our brains off all the time. They've heard it all.
We don't have any cool stories. Well, I don't have any cool stories.
We've
like
told all our cool stories. We're at episode like I don't know, they're all gone.
I love it. Well, I want to hear some of your guys' stories in person sometime.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How old were you when you first like signed to Hellcat and you guys first like? I know you were already touring at that point, but like, because you said you were 16 when you first like kind of started off. How long did it take between like that moment and then like when you guys like kind of skyrocketed after that?
I think I like just turned 18. I was like 17, 18 when that happened.
So you guys were like getting it pretty good for a couple years there.
Yeah. And before that, my sister had recorded and released 4 Savette albums before I was even in the band. She did that anyway. And I think that's important for any band ever. Like, if you have music, fucking record it. Don't wait for anybody. You know, and I really believe that things will find their audience if you do the work to get them to people and just try to like spread it out there. It'll find people that it's going to resonate with. But the first time I went in the studio with Savette to we did like a 3-song 7-inch with Disaster Records, Dwayne's label. I was like shaking in the studio. I'm like, I suck. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a big fucking deal, And thankfully I don't get like that anymore. But it's also good when you feel that way because
totally.
It's like you want something so badly, and then when it's finally happening.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to have that. I mean, when I recorded with Bill Stevenson, but I was like 41, and I was still like nervous.
Yeah. Was that at the blasting room? Is that
Cool. My band went out there to do one song.
Awesome.
Just to do it,
What's that band?
My band, the Ailments.
The Ailment?
Yeah, ALEMENTS. Yeah.
Ailments.
Yeah.
The better kind,
See what we did there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Is that on Spotify? Could I go listen to that?
It's
not that.
It's not out yet. So
their band
okay.
Is.
Yeah. So it's a new thing. Just happened.
Yeah. Well, it's an old thing that's supposed to be. That's this album. It's a whole fucking. We recorded that in 2017. And we're still working on a couple other songs to finish this album. But
so it's gonna be a full length.
Yeah. Cool. Eventually.
It'll be their 2046 full length, right?
That's great.
2046. The Ailments finally get their third full length.
Well, I think that's okay because it takes a lot longer than people realize to get a good product out to people. Like the songs that are going to be out on this EP with Pirates, I wrote those songs in the spring of 2019. And it's not it's only 3 fucking songs, and that shit's not coming out until May 2021. And that's already, as a songwriter, that's a long time.
Oh yeah.
Hold on to a song, or things really quickly start to feel old to musicians. We're always just thinking of new things and what the next thing is, but like I've really learned to be patient, and if you want something really good to be released, like you kind of have to like be like calculated with your releases and stuff, and like don't just put it out. I mean, we live in an era where it's like, okay, singles, put out the singles, and I'm all for singles, but we like to put out albums too, or like packages of things, that I think is really fulfilling for artists to do the artwork and the whole complete thing. That's like how you cap off a moment.
Right.
And I had no intention of releasing these 3 songs with Pirates, and the full length that's coming out after that, I started recording in August, again before the Pirates thing happened. So it's like I just started doing that knowing I was gonna go somewhere, but I wasn't sure where. So I think that like leap of faith, we got to take that sometimes, and when it comes out, it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to hear it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a Prince article where he was talking about how he doesn't ever rush himself when it comes to making an album or releasing something, and that he'll write over time, and the songs that come about that fit with the other songs, it's like it takes a while. Like you have to like live and experience, and like things start to come together like a puzzle, you know. But he was like, fuck that, I'll release them when they're done, you know, and only when they're done. So I always think about that, and like, you know, when it happens, it happens. And right now, actually, the timing of this EP is perfect. And I don't even know when the full length will come out, but I know that when that happens, that will be the perfect time. Right. You know?
Yeah. Hopefully you can support it when
that's the plan, actually. Well, we want to wait anyway, because the EP is cool. That's 3 songs. We can put that out there digitally.
You don't need to support an EP.
Exactly. Don't need to. I would love to, but
exactly.
Don't have to, you know? But if you're gonna like blow your fucking load on a fucking full length and not do anything to support it, like that's just dumb.
Yeah. Agreed.
And so hopefully I'm hoping fall, you know, fall would be cool. But if I have to wait until 2022, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think fall is gonna be
written. I have the other album written. That's awesome. Yeah. Just
gotta get that studio money.
Yeah, studio money's really cool. I've actually self-funded pretty much everything I've ever done. Except
that's kind of what I mean.
Hellcat was cool. You know, we definitely got a budget there, but that's a different kind of deal where later down the line you're paying it back, you know? And I actually prefer to work with labels who are like, okay, you bring us the finished record and then we'll take care of the product for you.
Right.
Because I don't want to do both, you know?
Yeah.
Recording and paying for a record, that's an investment. I'm going to do that anyway. It's my music. I want it to be done. But I don't want to pay for vinyl.
Oh, God, it's so expensive.
Shit.
Yeah. Stressful. Yeah. Expensive. So I'm really grateful to Pirates for picking up that side of things. And like, man, their team is so cool. They're just really, really great people. So easy to communicate with. They've got great ideas. They're super supportive. I love the bands on the label. So when touring starts happening, you know, I'll be able to play with these awesome fucking bands. And it just really feels like the right place for me.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So that was already the right label for me. It just wasn't time.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So,
how'd you get hooked up with them?
Well, I actually met Veek Martin.
Okay.
She is my go-to gal at the label. I met her about 3 years ago at Alex's bar in Long Beach. We were at a Bronx show, and a mutual friend.
Love that band.
I fucking love the Bronx.
Me too.
It is a dream of mine to someday do a duet with Matt.
Fuck yeah.
I've bugged him about it so many times. He knows it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. I love that man's voice. He's got such a fucking great voice. Oh my God.
You hear that,
and,
Matt?
Mariachi Al Bronx too.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The Mariachi Al Bronx fucking rule.
Oh my Lord. Have you seen them live?
Unfortunately, no, I haven't. I mean, aside from like, you know, YouTube videos and shit, but no, personally, I have not, unfortunately.
They are incredible. What a band. They're such pros. That's what I love about the Bronx, you know? And you can tell they've got their shit together.
Oh, from like the first moment, I remember I heard like they had a song off their first album that was on like a Ferret Records comp that I think was their first label. And I heard that one song and my ears all perked up like a fucking jackrabbit. And I was like, I have to have whatever record. Who is this band? What I need it now. Right? I need it now.
Yeah.
And I spent, you know, this was in the day where you still had to like drive places to get albums. I think I spent a whole day driving around to record stores, like looking for that album until I found it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love them. Actually, short story. My sister was on a comp. There was this band in LA that was doing these like, it was like they would do the music and then they'd get guest singers from other bands.
Oh yeah. Bullet Treatment.
Bullet Treatment. That's it. So my sister did side A of one Bullet Treatment 45, and then Nat was on the other side.
I have I actually have that 7-inch
with the gun.
Yeah.
That's my sister.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, that's right. It was. I remember. Like now that you're mentioning it,
Yeah.
when they
I
even
sang
on their
backing.
yo, you sang backing vocals.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
like
funny.
on their Wikipedia page, I believe it said something about one of the members being like tied to Savette or something. Now that,
Cool.
now that
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So that was kind of
Nice.
my first
Awesome.
introduction.
Nice.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Punk
They-
rock's cool.
Bullet Treatment did a couple other 7-inches where it was like musically it was the same song, but they hired a whole bunch of different like punk rock vocalists to do, and they like sent the song to them, and so it's the same song
Wow.
musically but different vocal. They did 2 separate 7-inches of like 2 separate songs like that.
That's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, they're pretty cool 7-inches.
Cool, cool. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of the name. I don't have a copy of that 7-inch, unfortunately, but I know my sister has one somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. It's sitting right over.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I do remember the photo shoot with the gun because it was a real gun and I was scared. I'm like 15, like, don't hold it up to your head, sister. I don't like this. She's like, it's art. Shh.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, whatever.
It's not art unless it's a real gun.
When you were writing for your solo album, like were you writing songs for LA Machina, or did did you have that kind of solo thing in mind while you were in that band as well?
Well, it's interesting because I actually it's very sad with LA Machina because we recorded a full album.
Yeah.
And I wrote some things, they were already written.
Mhm.
So I'm always just writing,
Right.
and not really with something in mind. I just,
Right.
a song comes to my head and I pluck it out of the sky and I'm like, oh, this sounds like me, you know?
Yeah.
But I took a handful of my songs that I had and I kind of machinified them.
Okay.
Because there was like a vibe with that band that was a little bit more like, I don't want to say just rock and roll, because it was more like a psyche garagey thing that like I don't usually do. And working with Michelle, who was playing guitar and writing songs
Right.
too, she had a very interesting like lyric style, you
Okay.
know. So I tried to kind of tap into this like more. I don't write like a lot of like images, you know, like dragons in the sky fighting, you know. It's more like it's more autobiographical, or
Right.
or somebody's diary, somebody's fucking autobiography,
Mhm.
you know. I write in like, I try to write in a very like relatable, personal sort of way. So I pushed myself to write some things, take some of my songs and recraft them to be more Machina-esque. And those were fucking cool.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, no one will ever hear this song.
Yeah.
But out of those tunes, I took back a handful also because they were mine anyway.
Right.
And I undid some machinifying on them and took
Gotcha.
them back to classic Susie. So yeah, it's not like I'm really ever writing for a particular project.
Mhm.
If somebody that I admired came to me, like let's say Matt did want to do the duet, I would definitely think, you know, okay, this is a duet with somebody and I admire, and I would kind of try to tap into like Matt's energy and how I perceive him and what he's giving to people, you know, and try to make it match. But I don't know, it's like it's always got to be really honest and very me. So there was never any intention to do Suzi Moon solo songs. I do feel like having this project allows me to, I was able to pull out some songs that maybe didn't really fit Turbulent Hearts because I had put Turbulent Hearts in a box in a
Mhm.
sense, where people were always expecting like crazy girl, roll on the floor, cut herself with glass, light the place on fire, fucking rides off on a fucking dragon. You know, or a 3-headed dog or some shit, you know. But I built that, and that is Turbulent Hearts, you know. But everybody gets older and hopefully wiser, and I got more confident. So I've been writing songs my whole fucking life, you know, like I've got journal entries back to when I was like 10 years old, songs, you know.
Yeah.
And I am a punk rock girl, but some of my biggest influences, Tom Petty, Otis Redding, you know, song guys. I love music. Baby help me out. Who else do I love? I'm blanking. I love everybody. Oh my God, I'm really into Edith Piaf, but that's another story. Anyway, so it's just a very broad, you know, and then I love the Dead Boys, of course, you know.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. But this new full length that's going to come out, it kind of dives into like the classic California thing that I was raised on, and there's a little bit more variation there. Like I was able to actually pull back the tempos a bit and do stuff that's quite a bit slower, not less rock and roll, because if we've learned anything from the Ramones, you can have a fucking rock and roll song that's not like 180 beats per minute.
Right.
Is that fast or slow? Okay, it's fast. Once again, I can't math or number, but Drew can. So yeah, I would say that the next record, I confidently recorded songs that I wouldn't have had the confidence to do in Turbulent Heart. So like kind of pulling from like my Social D inspiration, you know. I grew up on Social D. Sex, Love, and Rock and Roll was the most important record that ever happened to me when I was 16. And I still feel that way every time I listen to that record.
Yeah.
It's a good one for sure.
And God, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
So there's a little bit more variation. You hear kind of like the Rancid sound, but like the singy kind of chanty thing. And it's all very, very me, because I never try to copy anybody, you know?
Yeah.
But I have such a wide fucking net of inspiration that it's kind of like this awesome gumbo, you know?
Yeah.
There's just everything that's me is on the full length, and I really can't wait for people to hear that. But yeah, so I just write for myself, and I hope that it's gonna catch with somebody somewhere, you know. But I now have the confidence to release anything that I think is good and not feel like I have to put it in this particular punk rock box.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like rock and roll and punk rock, that is my thing. But like I love doo-wop, you know.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah, me too.
fuck, right? Like those melodies, man. And like, oh, there's a song on the full length that I don't know if anyone else would know this or even pick it up, but to me, and it's a fast one, it's actually one of the faster ones, it is inspired by a Phil Spector tune. To know him is to love him. You know, just the phrasing almost. Yeah, but also I don't think anyone would know that because only my brain connects those things, you know? So it's just, it's interesting to see how people interpret stuff.
Right.
But there's some surf punk. There actually isn't any doo-wop. It's just in my soul. And like, then I translate it a certain way, you know? So, but going back to the EP, because that's what people are going to hear sooner. It's just me, you know? And like I said, those songs were written almost 2 years ago. And one of them is actually a love song that would never be, I think, considered a love song by people that listen to it. It would take you a while to figure out that it's a love song and that I'm actually flirting in my own twisted way of flirting, you know? But it's called Special Place in Hell, and that's going to be the first single.
Cool. Which
will be out on April 2nd. Yay.
Nice.
And in this song, hell is actually LA.
Okay. And
it's like a warning to the guy who's coming to LA.
Gotcha.
About Drew.
To Drew.
Yeah, it might, because you know it might actually.
It's totally about Drew.
It might actually be hell.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wrote it right after I met him at Punk Rock Bowling. And he was like, I'd never been to LA, you know, and I'm like, I'm being all LA, like LA is like the coolest, you know, but you better watch your back if you come to LA, man, because it's gnarly out there.
That was 2019, right? The 2019 Punk Rock Bowling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I would
last-
say to anybody, like, if anybody wants to get like a really good kind of like a feel of what Susie's like live, if you like, there's some video on YouTube of your performance there, or at least one of the songs where you kind of go into the crowd and like, it's just a really good kind of, you know, showing of how awesome you are as a front woman on stage. Like, so go check out that 2019 Punk Rock Bowling, Turbulent Hearts.
Yeah, go for it. I
Yeah.
really did feel like I had a good show that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're a musician, you know,
Yeah.
you know, when you're just not, you don't fucking click.
Yeah.
You know, and I was so nervous. I was so fucking anxious. I was shaking that whole morning. I cried like 5 times. I was like, I didn't know what to fucking wear. You know, thank God my little brother was with me. He comes on tour with me as a
cool.
tour manager when he can, and he's like my best friend, you
Cool.
know. And I'm just like clutching my brother, like, Joe, this is the most important day of my life. And it really was. It was the most important day. I met Drew later, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
It was fucking rad, but there was just so much pressure to play something that I'd been sneaking into Punk Rock Bowling with Liza's ID when I was 16 and 17, you know, back when it was at Sam's Town. I've always considered that to be like the fucking thing in America, like for our scene.
Oh yeah.
You play Punk Rock Bowling and you kind of fucking make it. And it's funny because we had a great weekend. I met a lot of fans. So many of my friends were there. It was just an awesome weekend. But, you know, I did follow up with Mark Stern afterwards and was like, well, now that you've let me in once, you'll never get rid of me. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah,
awesome.
he's never getting rid of me. But that was super cool. So yeah, the Special Place in Hell. That was my fun little warning to Drew about coming out to LA. But at the end of the song, it ends with, and it's with me, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's like there's a special place in hell.
Yeah.
With me. So
Nice.
yeah, I like to be funny. I think I'm funny. I don't know. You know,
it's better than not being funny. Like,
oh, hell
right?
Yeah.
I can't take it too seriously. You know, music is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And I do care so much about my songs and the craft of them and writing good songs. But when it comes to lyrics, like I try to channel my inner Joey Ramone and a little bit of Dee Dee too, you know, where it's like there's an element of silliness there, you know, and it very simple silliness to things.
Yeah.
You know, just like met her at the fucking arcade, some bullshit, whatever, goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, it's like don't overthink it. You usually like the easy way to say things. Don't overcomplicate things, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And so the second single off of the EP is going to be a song called I'm Not a Man, and that is like feminist, fucking, but again, silly. It's an anthem, but it's silly. And I just wanted to, people take that topic so seriously, you know, and I care. I deeply care, you know, but it's almost like, let's just have a little bit more fun with the whole message.
Yeah.
Lighten it up a bit, but it's very anthemic and I hope catchy. But yeah, I'm really anxious to see how people respond to that song.
Yeah, I think you get a better, like a wider listenership too if you kind of lighten it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Instead of making it super serious and you know, if you lighten it up,
like feminism.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be militant about feminism. I feel like militance and feminism kind of somewhat go hand in hand with each other about how some people like take it in. and you know, that may be the fault of some people who are serving it. I don't think all people serve it that way, but I think your take on that is absolutely fantastic. It's to try to maybe help along some of the people who can't take the militance of it,
Exactly.
and maybe hear the message a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I'm not really saying anything we haven't heard before or felt or thought, but I'm trying to make it fun.
Yeah.
You know,
People don't like shit to be shoved in their fucking face and in their mouth, you know, like you feel somebody out a little bit. Don't just like, you know, it's like you'd be a gentleman about it. Don't just ram it home, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm not a man and I don't give a damn. I'm
Yeah.
not a man. Give a damn. I'm not a man and I don't give a damn because I am what I am and I am not a man. It's fucking simple, you know? And then it goes, I'm not a man, but I can make six figures. I'm not a man, but I can call the shots. And that's where the title for the EP comes from.
Gotcha.
I'm not a man, but I'm a lady killer. Your girlfriend kissed me in the parking lot. You know?
Yeah.
So just trying to have some fun with the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
I'm really proud of that one.
Good.
It's got a bit of a Stooges-y vibe to it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The Stooges
So,
fucking rule.
Very cool.
I'm a huge Iggy fan. Like, if I could ever be in the same room as Iggy, I would just. And it's funny because I was talking about this with Drew the other night. I'm like, I really want to meet Iggy Pop, you know? And he's like, yeah, if we did that, I would be on the opposite side of the room, you know? And I'm like, really? I'm like, I would go right up to Iggy and I'd have my elbow on his shoulder and be like, so tell me about this, tell me about that. Like, are we best friends? Do you want to adopt me? Like,
the fact that they got him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before he died is fucking awesome. Like, I love it.
don't say Iggy dies.
Well, yeah,
no,
yeah,
Iggy dying.
No, he's never gonna die.
know.
Like if he was gonna die, he'd already be dead. He's like the punk rock Keith Richards.
Keith Richards is ridiculous.
Yeah, seriously. I have this feeling that Iggy is just so fucking chilled out at home. You know?
Oh, he's probably like meditates and like.
I bet he's doing yoga naked.
Yeah,
and
totally.
He's got turtles and like just eats like the most organic food and like makes his own kombucha and shit. Yeah. Like Iggy's like so zen.
He definitely makes his own kombucha. He definitely.
I love that guy.
We're gonna jot that down as fact right now.
You call up the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know that he also makes his own kombucha, right? Yeah. You're gonna need a bottle of that. Yeah. So I've done a lot of things in the 15 years I've been playing music that like, and sometimes I freak out a little bit and I'm like, do I have goals? You know, like, what is my goal? I've done so much that I've wanted to do, you know, that it's like, where do you even go from here? And that's scary, you know?
It is.
See people around me and they've got goals and I'm like, where do you get those?
I know.
You know? I want to keep releasing music. Like that's important, but it's really cool. And I think perseverance is key. Not giving up when you have those moments, those doubtful moments of like, what the fuck am I doing? And you know, it's like when I was 25, all I wanted to do was be on the cover of the Rolling Stone, like every 25-year-old, right? And I'm 31 now, and it's like, well, that's really not important to me because that's not what my music or my career is about.
Right.
You know, it's not about like fame. You know, it's really become for me like the connection to my scene and to people, and like the fucking network is so cool. Like, how is it possible that I'm just this chick from Long Beach, you know, and I've got friends and fans all over the world, and like sometimes I get to see them in person and we're enjoying music together.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the coolest shit ever. And I really feel like Dropkick Murphys, like they've got the formula right.
Yes, they do.
You know, instead of being like this big pop star and having maybe like, you know, a couple million people know your name, a band like Dropkick has like, let's say 500,000 people who are so diehard, they will support their career to the end of time, you know? And like, even if it's a smaller number, you know, it's the diehards, the people that like stick with you and want to help you, you know, and like are grateful for your art. And that's like the most valuable thing ever. So I just want to give back to the people that have been there for me and have helped me and reminded me along the way, like that they care, even when I'm
Right.
not sure what the fuck I'm doing or if I care, you know. And like it's not like this. I don't want it to be this like selfish look at me thing, you know. It's like the music
Yeah.
is the most important, and the connection that we get from that is the most fucking important.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the journey could be weird sometimes. I know, like, when I read your article that you or an interview you did for New Noise magazine, I know last year was like really rough for you because you had a lot of stuff planned. It was going to be a big year for you.
Yeah.
But then this
no
comes out of it, you know, the solo stuff. So it's kind of like, it's weird. And when you mentioned going full circle earlier, because now you're back recording in Long Beach, you know, you said you used to go there as a teenager to buy records or whatever. It's
So weird.
You know, yeah.
And I had no idea that the studio was back there when Davey sent me the address of his studio.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're recording in Long Beach already. That was kind of like a weird thing for me.
Right, yeah.
Like, interesting, I'd be recording this very important record in my hometown, you know. But then we show up and I'm like, it's in the back of Gilmore Music. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's so weird. Yep.
Yeah. But you were saying.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, it's funny because with punk rock, it's just, you never know. You just never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to run into. You never know, you know, just
who you're going to run into, or
yeah.
The fucking surprise of it all is pretty cool, you know, but really, we're lifers, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Thankfully I've figured out that it takes a lifetime to be a legend, and the music industry is not the same as it was, you know,
right,
say in the late 80s and the early 90s when people just kind of like skyrocketed.
It's
you know, but
so
you
different.
look at, like, the Iggy's and the fucking Wendy O. Williams of the world, you know, people who we look at as legends in our scene. But at the time, and everyone in the early punk rock scene in New York, they were fucking struggling. They didn't have money. They were fucking all on drugs. Shit was weird, you know, and they weren't superstars at that time, you know, and it really takes a lifetime for it to come around and get to people, you know. So like for me, it's not about just tomorrow, you know, it's about just creating something where like hopefully someday my grandkids or my great grandkids are like, man, that bitch was crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what it's all about, man. Yeah.
And it's hopefully gonna last, and like down the line some kid on whatever social media network that like you just blink and it's in your eyeball, you know, and they're like googling for
scroll
like
down.
You know, like if I could inspire somebody even down the line, like how cool would that be, you know? But regardless, I'm gonna do the music now today because it's in my heart and I have to do it, you know. But like it's not just about my lifetime, it's about contributing to punk rock as a whole, you know. Just giving back to something that's given me so much and just trying to be a part of the thread of it, you know.
I think you've got it already, because like my grandma goes down in history, or you know, like you said, that crazy bitch from dancing on a kitchen table wine drunk when she was 80 years old at like 3 a.m. Yeah. And so like she has gone down, as we aptly nicknamed her at that point, OG, the original grandma.
Yes.
If that one moment can make her go down in infamy,
Right?
I think you'll be fine.
Is there a video of this?
Oh my God, I wish, but this happened in like the early 2000s, so like video phones weren't like a thing.
I love it. But everyone in your family is going to tell that story.
Oh, for real.
And it's gonna trickle down.
My two cousins and I that were there at the time, like we've already spread it.
See how cool is that? You know? I love it.
Yeah. So,
OG.
That's right. OG, original
grandma. Yeah, it's cool. So I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing, and I've been really, really, really lucky. But I think it's more than luck. It's hard work. you
Yeah.
know, and I've given every fucking last cent I've had. I have booked things on my own. I've played crappy shows as everyone in a band has played,
Yeah.
and I've played really great things, you know, and it was super hard coming out of Civet when we had toured with Dropkick and we're playing sold out stadiums and shit, you know, to that band falling apart and me going back to LA and having to share. My sister and I rented one room. We could only afford one room, and we put twin beds in it. You know, and we're in our 20s,
like an old school married couple from the 40s.
Exactly.
I've been there.
You know?
Oh, mine wasn't a room though; it was a porch.
See, you take what you can fucking get
That's
when
fucking
you can
right.
get it.
Pay your
But it's
dues. Yep.
Yeah, you gotta survive.
Yep.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I was ever gonna play music again after that. You know, I went to college for a little while and learned like video production stuff, which actually did lead me back to music because I wanted to make music videos.
Yeah.
And so I started a new band and I ended up making a lot of the early Turbulent Hearts music videos, you know?
Very, very beneficial
time-
stuff to know in the music industry.
Oh,
Very
totally.
beneficial. Yeah.
Any tool that you can learn that's gonna you know, just make it so you can do things on your own and not have to rely on people.
Save you
all the
money.
time.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking powerful.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. We record ourselves, my band. Like we do everything. Like
That's awesome.
same things. It saves us
Yeah.
so much money. It's a lot of fucking work. But
Oh, I bet. Do you have a studio at home?
our drummer, like our headquarters is his house, and he has like a home
Cool.
studio that we all kind of have collectively built there.
That's awesome.
It's not
Do you
much,
guys
but a
Record
basement.
yourself?
We do. Yeah,
What
we do it. Literally do everything ourselves. We mix, master, fucking produce everything ourselves. So yeah.
Does he ever record anybody else?
He has. It would be his. I think at some point in time he would like to like kind of start that as more of a business. But,
Yeah.
Lightly, our drummer does it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it
can
saves
I
a lot of money.
call about that because I actually have to do some remote backing vocals to finish the full length.
Yeah. Currently,
He.
yeah. So, and
He's
normally I would
released-
be I would be like, fuck yeah, absolutely you can. But he is kind of quarantined himself in the house during COVID. He's a bit of a germaphobe, and
Totally.
Yeah, so he's particularly spooked.
so at some point in time, yes, that would be an absolute thing that can
Down
happen
the
right
line.
now.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome because I would like to have that later, you know.
And we are pretty close. Like
exactly.
from where you guys are, you said Rockville, right?
Yeah.
You're like an hour from.
Yeah, it's not that
from
far.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe down the line when the fucking virus goes away, if I wanted to do like pre-production demos for another thing, you know.
Yeah.
And then it'd be a cool opportunity to hang out and stuff.
Yeah, cool. Totally. And he's quite a good engineer. He has a fucking ear for music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm so jealous of his home studio.
Yeah, my singer has a studio too that we practice in. So he, you know, either one of us, you could kind of.
Yeah, that's right. Ron's. That's
so
absolutely
yeah.
right.
Tell me about your friend. Is he a germaphobe?
I don't think so. I think he's still recording people.
Yeah, Alex is not
cool.
a germaphobe.
Yeah. So.
Ron, I'm calling you.
Yeah, go for it. I'll email you my number and yeah, feel free to call or text. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that because it's tough. I've been here a lot, but everybody I know is in LA.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And actually I've always wanted to live on the East Coast. So this is probably I want it to become permanent.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of reached the end of a line, so to speak, in LA.
Right.
I played every place I've ever wanted to play. And I swear to God, I know everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's been really fun, but I kind of feel like I hit a wall there.
Yeah.
And I've ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to live in New York. And even hanging out in DC for this amount of time has been like the closest I've been to living on the East Coast, you know? And something, my wheels are always turning. I think it'd be cool to set up like, okay, this next chapter of my career, if I hit it from this side of the country, and I like how the markets, it's kind of like the UK in a sense, to where, you know, you've got Philly, New York, Jersey, fucking Boston, DC,
Yep.
Richmond, Virginia. You know, you can hit a lot of places.
Oh yeah,
in a
Boston to
short
Richmond.
time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And whereas in LA, you have to drive fucking 6 to 8 hours just to get to Frisco.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so much more traveling. Everything's a lot more spread out, the big
Right.
city, you know? So I think it'd actually be kind of interesting for me to pick it up on
Yeah.
over here when I start touring, and make this a little bit more of a home base for me, you know?
Yeah,
We would love to have you in this area. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
Richmond,
LA's
Philly. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Richmond, Philly, New York, and Boston are the spots that draw lots of crowds, and I'm sure you've played all of them before. But
Long time
we-
ago, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where you want to tap into it, and then Florida, of course, because like if you're on the East Coast
Yeah.
now, you gotta play Fest. That's
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I
gotta
would
play
like
Fest.
to. I don't know anyone at Fest. So I would just be patiently waiting for a phone call from somebody if they
Well, I
if
think
they figure out that I exist. That'd be cool.
I have a decent Fest connection that
Yeah.
probably could be bridged if you wanted it to.
Okay, I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Fest. I've never been
They do.
able to go. My roommates back in LA, they went like 2 years ago and had an awesome time. Drew played there with the Split Seconds, you know. I just I don't like to I'm not the 15-year-old Susie anymore who just kind of like blindly fucking hits people up. I don't want to bother people, you know. I really want it to be worth it or natural when I speak to somebody or
Right.
you know, present them my project. But if you felt comfortable doing that, that would be cool. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, we've had a couple guests on the show that have like bands from Florida that play every year.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
who I'm
yeah.
talking about, Justin.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, for sure.
He's a fucking rad guy, and like they're from down there and have played Fest like every year and know them very, very well. So like I would be totally
Yeah.
comfortable with being like, hey, this is Susie from, if you remember Savette, like she lives on the East Coast now, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Yeah.
you guys can fucking talk about Fest or something. I would be totally comfortable.
I would
with
love that. What band are you talking about?
Kid You Not.
Kid You Not. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll check them out.
They're from Florida,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's
Or
a
no, St.
whole
Augustine.
scene
Yeah.
that I haven't even gotten to tap
Tap
into.
into. Yeah.
Because I've been
Yeah.
over in LA and I love my LA fam, you know, and there are a lot of rock and rollers there. A lot of the punk rockers live there, you know.
Yep.
But I think it's good for my soul too to
Yeah.
just explore the other side of the country.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
seeing a lot more of me, guys.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's like I think there's just as much like punk rock on the East Coast as there is the West Coast, but on the West Coast, it's just lumped into that like pile of like LA and San Francisco. I know they're like 5-6 hours apart from each other, but it's kind of all lumped around that area in California. And on the East Coast, it's just way more spread out. Like
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good for touring.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got friends in Philly and I've got friends in New York and I've got friends in Boston. I haven't been able to see anybody yet, but you know, I want to hit all those places and retrace some of the Savette steps and just play new spots too. Because
Yeah.
there are, as much as I love the clubs in LA that I've been lucky to play a bunch of times, you just want to do new things.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, it's great for touring, bad for gas. on the East Coast. Those gas bills. Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta do what we gotta do. And
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. Do you
merch sales?
Are there in Cali, like I haven't driven a ton through Cali, just kind of in and out. Are there toll roads at all, like going like north to south at all?
Not the same as here.
Yeah, okay.
Toll roads are fucking crazy over here.
It's insane.
Yeah. There are a couple. Well, there's one going into Orange County, one going out into like Riverside area, and then in the last like 5 or 6 years, they made at least a carpool lane that used to be accessible to everybody, like a major freeway in LA. That one's now you have to have the little.
Oh, gotcha. Easy Pass or whatever.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
So, like, well.
Yeah.
No more carpool for me.
Yeah, a lot of those roads you can't even drive on them if you don't have one. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I've set my phone to avoid tolls,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that's
so I'll take the long way.
It's
you're
tough
gonna-
to go from here to New York and avoid tolls.
and you're gonna be paying about just as much in gas.
I don't even think it's possible, to be
Yeah.
honest, but
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
They-
okay.
Yeah.
Again, it's new, it's different, and I've driven around a lot in Europe, and they've
Mhm.
got toll roads there, so
Yeah.
it's just part of you
Yep.
know the expenses. And being in a DIY punk band is fucking expensive.
Fucking right
Yes.
it is. God damn.
It really
Yeah.
is. Between stickers, buttons, and t-shirts and all the other things, with Turbulent Hearts, I self-booked 3 tours, 3 summers in a row over to the UK, and a couple 2 of those times we went to Europe as well, and everything just paid out of my pocket,
Yeah.
because I'm the leader of the group, and I wasn't even playing with the guys that had been playing with me for a long time. I was playing with a new band that luckily didn't charge me. They were friends of mine, but like I've got like another backing band in the UK now that will play
Mhm.
with me when I'm over there.
Oh, okay.
But of course I'm going to pay them at the end of the tour. Whatever's left over, we split it. But
Yeah.
like that is a fucking investment, and it has been everything like that. Like, okay, here's a new credit card. I'm going on tour.
Yeah.
I'll deal
Mhm.
with it later because I
Yeah.
have to get out there. I have
Right.
to make it happen right now.
Yep.
So having pirates on board and helping with the product
That's
is
cool.
like fucking huge for me.
Awesome.
So I can buy more outfits.
Yeah.
Also part of my business plan.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to have you stay out east eventually.
Yeah.
I know I met Drew at the pie shop in DC.
Fucking love the pie shop.
Yeah, it's like my favorite fucking place. Whenever I tell people like, oh, we're playing a show at the pie shop, like you're playing where they make pie. It's like it's the best place. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Oh my god, the pulled pork pie.
Oh, so good. Oh my god.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
good.
that's actually the only place I've seen the Split Seconds play, because I didn't even see the Split Seconds play at Punk Rock Bowling.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Drew and I were on the same stage. Turbulent Hearts opened the day, Saturday. We were the first
Gotcha.
band.
Okay.
And then I had actually, this is cute. So before Punk Rock Bowling, I looked up every single band that was on that new Bridger stage, the little
Mhm.
second stage, because I wanted to see who were the other bands that were like up and coming and like on the same level as me,
Yeah.
And I was like, this band, and then I came across the Split Seconds, and I listened to the music, and I was like, oh, this is actually like the kind of music I like.
Mhm.
Like, I actually really, really like this style of punk rock.
Right.
Like, it stuck out to me, and I made a note, like, make sure you watch this band,
Mhm.
And then the day that we were playing, we actually had a signing at one of the record labels, Zia Records. They're like a independent record store in Vegas. We were doing a signing at the same time that the Split Seconds were playing.
Oh,
So I
okay.
didn't get to watch them play,
Yeah.
but I recognized Drew walking around backstage, and I like ran up to him, and I'm with my mom, and I ran up to him and I was like, hey, are you that guy from the Split Second? I checked you out. I'm sorry I missed your set, but like we should tour together or something, And he was like,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
whatever. Who does this chick think she is? And then I got to look at him. I'm like, wow, he's tall, he's blonde, American boy. I like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So I didn't even get to see them play. I wasn't even sure if he was good, man. It was all just videos
funny.
making him look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we ended up hanging out that entire weekend and saw every show together and
Cool.
just hung out,
Nice.
And then I did come out to DC and I got to see the Split Seconds play at the Pie Shop.
Cool.
So that's actually the only like real punk show I've seen in DC at all.
Okay.
When the pandemic hit. Yeah.
So have you not like played a show at the pie shop?
No.
They have this really cool like little green room place
Okay,
for the bands
You've
in
been
the
in there?
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they like stock it with pies and
Across the
I
deck.
know.
Yeah.
natty
Yeah.
bows
Yeah.
and shit. It's fucking so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun day. That little back room, I ate so much pie and just
no,
met
like,
nice people, you
Yeah.
know. That was really my first and only introduction to the scene here.
Yeah. Whenever I put shows on, that's always where I do it. Like,
Cool.
I'm doing like Blitzkid is back together and they're kind of touring. They were supposed to play last spring, then it got postponed to last fall, and now it's postponed to this spring, and it's
Yeah.
probably going to be postponed again.
Till the
I'd
fall.
say definitely.
Yeah, till the fall. But
Yeah.
you know, but no, that place is rad.
And the
What's-
Exiles, are they still with Snub?
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We were listening to them earlier.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
We should
Very
play
cool.
together.
Yes.
Yeah. At the pie shop.
Oh hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll make it happen.
Definitely.
So I don't know if you guys know, but Drew is actually the lead guitar player for my solo project.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you
Oh,
who
nice.
was playing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you
Yeah,
so you're
Paul-
playing bass or are you playing rhythm?
No, I'm playing rhythm guitar.
Okay.
I am a rhythm guitar player.
Gotcha.
I don't want to fuck with leads. That's not my
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never felt drawn to that side of it.
Right.
I just need to know how to do the most basic things
Yeah.
to write songs.
Right.
You know.
Especially if you're singing too. You don't want to like deal with the technical shit when you're singing. Like
No.
that'd be a pain in
If
the
I
ass.
was- Yeah, and Drew is a guitar player. Like
Mhm.
that's what he loves to do is sit down and actually practice. And I'm like, you like to practice? Like-
yeah.
I don't ever pick my guitar up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I? I mean, unless a song comes to my head and I
Right.
need to like, translate that and like,
hmm
you know, but yeah, I call him my secret weapon because I can write guitar solos in my mind
Yeah.
and I hear them for my songs, you know, and I'll be like, okay, Drew, play this bow 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 now bow bow now 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 bow 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 now 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 bow bow
You don't need a guitar. Why don't you just do that on stage?
yeah, and then he'll just fucking sit there and he'll play the exact thing, and then I'll be like, no, and he'll, and I'm like, no, and I'll be
If
like,
you-
that's it.
That's
if
awesome.
you've never been in a band before, you have no idea how many banana now or like come out like just on the regular when you're at
Yeah,
practice
mouth
and stuff. Yeah.
drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, do it like
totally.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very important part of being in a band. You need to be able to
Totally. So,
communicate with your band members.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a whole other language you need to be fluent
It
in.
totally is. Yeah. No, I like to keep it Joe Strummer style, you know,
Yeah.
just, and it's fun. It's easier for me. I don't need
Yep.
to think about too much. I'm focused on singing, like you said.
Yeah.
And performing, and I don't want to play leads. It's
Yeah.
not my thing. Yeah. But now I have an awesome lead guitar player.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we like Drew here at Our Brains Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty like.
Yeah, when I
So
ran
I'm-
into him, he came to like I think it was Snub Records Fest that I did. It was like a 2-day thing in
Mhm.
2019,
Cool.
and I was talking to him, and he immediately was like, "Dude, you got to check out Turbulent Hearts," and
Oh.
that's why so
Was he
looking out for
Yeah.
you since then.
there our night, Ron, or was he there was it the other night?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to ask
Yeah.
Drew.
Ask Drew. He's right here.
Yeah, wave him over.
Yeah, I didn't.
What's up,
I
Drew?
didn't, I didn't get myself put together quite like Susie did.
Oh, no,
That's-
look at me. I'm in a
Yeah.
t-shirt with stains on it.
There, I put a hat on him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now I'm one of those guys with one of those hats.
Awesome. How have you been?
I've been good, man. Just been working like crazy. You know, it's
Cool.
been real tough. Just like not being able to play shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah.
so trying to keep my head up, but we keep each other company. We take care of each other, and
We laugh a lot.
yeah, and
Good.
we got
That's important.
really, really cool stuff coming up on the horizon. So it's been awesome with Susie. I don't know. I mean, I think people who are close to the Split Seconds know that I never liked singing. I was always like a guitar player and a songwriter, but I really didn't like the frontman role.
Yeah.
So it's been really awesome teaming up with Susie. so that both of us can kind of do what we love and what we're
Perfect.
good at.
Yeah.
Kind of that just working together like that.
Cool.
So
It's a nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's good to continuously see people in the punk rock community with the same attitude that you guys have, and good to see that you guys have this attitude, because like this past year and a fucking year, I guess, is like an easy excuse to like be bogged down or allow yourself to slip into depression. So like love seeing this attitude from the punk rock community always.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing, maybe it was different, maybe like the late 90s or something, where punk rock was like top of the heap. But anybody who's still sticking with it, it's like, you know, we talk about like punk rockers are kind of like the true believers in rock and roll, you know? And so anybody who's still, you know, sticking around and making it happen and making records, you know, we're like the real hardcore, you know?
Yeah, it's part of you. It's like in you, and it's just it's part of who you are.
That's
you know?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And so nothing I'd rather be doing. Really got some cool stuff that is going to be coming out in the next next couple months, but then we got plenty of stuff that'll be coming out after that.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have bad days, you know.
We do.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever.
You're human.
You're human.
You know?
Yeah.
You're human.
But then it's like you get to go to the studio for a weekend, and it's like, oh my god, this gives me fucking life.
But we're just getting ready, because you know, whether it's, you know, sooner or later, things are gonna start coming back.
Hell yeah.
And we're just gonna be ready to come out of the gate like real hard.
That's awesome.
You know? Yeah, we're gonna fucking tour so much. Like that's the plan.
Yeah,
we want to be on the road a lot for the next at least 3 years.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
And there are already a lot of songs written, and we make an awesome team. You know, so it's super fucking cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
very cool. I'm glad you guys are happy and doing well.
Yeah.
I have one last question before we let you guys go. We always ask this of all our guests. It's kind of a random question. But if you were on death row, what would your last meal be? And Drew, you could answer that too.
Answer for this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you're gonna answer too. I bet I know what his answer is. Let's play like the newlywed game.
Okay,
yeah. Guess what each other's answers.
Drew, what is Susie's last meal?
Oh, jeez.
I've told you.
What was your last meal?
They don't make it.
They don't make it anymore. I would say like
he's kind of aloof sometimes, so it's okay. He works a lot.
I would say like a burger from In-N-Out, but they still make those, so that can't be it. Plus, you weren't a burger person until.
Fail.
Jeez, I don't know. She's probably gonna get mine though.
You would probably have a hot dog.
No.
A bacon wrapped hot dog.
Come on.
Really?
Yeah. I do love bacon wrapped hot dogs.
I've never had that.
They're amazing.
Around Christmas time, she made peanut butter chocolate Christmas crack.
Nice. Have you ever had Christmas crack?
Yeah.
No.
I'll send you guys stuff next Christmas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
we'll
super
put you guys on the
intrigued,
list for this Christmas crack.
Awesome.
Yeah, it would. She just made like sheets and sheets of it, and it would just vanish.
Yeah.
The next day.
That's awesome.
Christmas crack would be your last meal.
Well, for this question, yeah.
It's
Okay, or a bacon wrapped hot dog. I think maybe bacon wrapped.
See,
Gotcha.
ding ding. Okay,
Right.
so my last meal, and we need to work on this.
All right.
Okay. We'll probably
Okay.
They don't make it anymore. Okay, so this would be really hard to find, but someone would have to call Trader Joe's, and the people who manufacture Trader Joe's prepackaged meals. They used to make this fucking eggplant parmesan.
Okay.
In like the ready-made section, and it's literally just a fucking brick of eggplant parmesan with like the thickest layer of cheese on it.
All right.
You put that in the oven and just let it get all melty and gooey, and I would eat the whole brick to myself. And
nice.
Yeah, they don't make it anymore. So
Well,
maybe I would just die hungry.
Yeah, this is
That's stay of execution. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Get another year before they get the manufacturing.
That's right.
Plant back up, you know.
Cake work.
There you go.
Like, just choose the lobster.
I wouldn't choose the lobster.
Have you had crabs yet since you're in Maryland?
No, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to try them. I'm really not a seafood person. Ever since I was a kid, I was like, but I do want to try crab cakes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
If
My-
you're gonna do crab cakes, the best way to start off with that, I think, would be like eggs Chesapeake. It's basically like eggs Benedict.
Chesapeake?
Yeah, it's like eggs Benedict, except instead of like the ham
With crab?
it's a crab cake instead of the ham.
I can't mix things like that.
Oh,
Oh, really?
So you guys like, because I'm kind of in the DC orbit, and the funny thing is with Maryland is DC is so different than the rest of Maryland
It is.
that, that we're gonna have to like hit you guys up when we make it a little further out, and let us know the good crab spots, because we were driving over that direction a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know the good places.
yeah.
Oh yeah. If
Ron,
you're
I
around
bet
the
you
sun,
know.
if you're around in the summer,
Yeah.
definitely hit me up and I'll take you to
we'll
some
all
good
meet
crab
up.
places. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
We'll do
DC
crab
is
cake.
more
We'll
like
video it.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, we will. DC is more like Virginia than it is Maryland, I feel like. I've always felt that way for some reason. I don't know. But
Yeah,
Maryland.
there's definitely a thing that the DMV thing, it's very much unto itself. I
Yeah.
I really like Baltimore's not that far away, but it's kind of crazy. It's like stepping into a totally different world
It is.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
coming out of DC.
Yeah, a
So
world I don't like to step
always-
into, but
No one does, Ron. No one.
yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
Susie, thanks so much, and Drew, thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron.
This has been
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah,
It's
same.
nice to see smiling faces and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know do this. It's fun for me. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat.
Awesome. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And we'll send you the links. This will be we'll put it up next Sunday, so a week from today.
Perfect. Awesome.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. And
Awesome.
send me your phone number,
I will.
and both of you guys send me your physical address so I can send you some goodies.
Sweet. Oh, and if
Yeah.
you want some coffee, I'll send you some coffee. 'Cause
Punk
we
roast.
send all our guests coffee and
Yeah.
these cool little brain buttons, pins.
Cute. Yeah.
And Drew,
yeah,
I'll send
please.
you one
Love
too.
that. Very
Cool.
cool. Great. We'll be pen pals, so that'll
Awesome.
be fun.
Sounds good. All
All right. Looking forward to it,
right.
guys.
Thanks, Susie.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye,
Very
guys.
nice meeting you guys.
You too. See you soon.
Yep.
All right.